Cherbourg. Yet I have not seen you with the others. You were there, were you not?
No, I did not embark at Cherbourg. I flew in through the window. Why doesn't anyone believe me when I tell them this?
I see. You are British. Not so
You know
many
I'm British.
in Titanic's first cabins. These days, most of the rich are Americans. Businessmen like Max. Tell me, why do you go to New York?
Holiday.
I'm envious. Unfortunately, my work does not permit me to indulge in the pleasures of the leisure class.
The theory of the leisure class? I have read Professor Hebron. He's quite good.
Quite.
Well, I know what he does. He inspects the embassies, but he is continuing on to the West to conduct research on Aboriginal customs.
Me? Inspecting our embassies. Imperial Germany desires to make a good impression in North America. Billy is continuing on to the West to conduct research on Aboriginal customs.
The Indians, they are fascinating.
Yes. However, I place faith in science, not superstition.
He loves the wireless.
The Colonel was saying this wireless stuff's revolutionizing everything. Sending messages to each other. It's the end of books and newspapers.
Like the Titanic.
Far from
A
it.
technological triumph. Here we dined in comfort while racing along at 20 knots. It's still tied to the outside world by the wireless.
That reminds me, Colonel Seitel, when I go to send you a telegram, they told me it was to be delayed.
Don't worry, I'll do it
There
for
are too
you.
many messages. The passengers...
I'm going to go and get
I'm
it.
sure our guests do not care to hear a detailed discussion of your encounter with telegraphy. Now, if you will excuse me,
Please, excuse us.
won't you call on us tomorrow? Here, in the cafe. The Linzer Tort's quite passable for a British ship. Stop by. Willie and I welcome it most heartily.
Yes, most heartily.
And before I leave, you must allow me to give you some advice.
I won't wander the ship.
But do not wander the ship. It is not good, I think, on a ship as big as the Titanic.
Au
Good night,
contraire.
friends.
Good night.
See? What did I tell you? What did I say?
Dodgy.
Him too. Up to something, I'd say. The brainy kid gives me the creeps. What a grind. He should hang out with that little blonde. She's a looker, I tell you. Come on, let's hit the smoking room. I'll introduce you to Riviera. What do you say?
Whatever.
Great. Go on up. I gotta see a man about a horse. I'll meet you in a few
Why can't you
minutes.
just say you got to go
Bye.
for a piss, right? No. Okay, so basically, Jem wants me. He wants to meet me back here tomorrow in the Cafe Parisien, does he? Well, that is possible if we're decked out in. Yeah, we're decked out in scuba gear. I mean. Right, so this is Cafe Parisien. It's a beautiful little place. Okay, right outside this door is a woman standing in a blue dress with a black hat on. Annoying. Daisy Cashmore. She's going to ramble on about me sneaking on at Cherbourg and stuff like that. But her primary motive for talking to me is she wants to find out to a man with the initials GQC, but making eyes at her at dinner because she's been in a lonely old spinsterhood she thinks she's in with a chance, and he could be a rich or stinking rich. But anyway.
But my dear, it's Daisy Cashmore. Surely you remember. You a naughty thing. Don't think I didn't know you'd snuck on at Cherbourg. Smithers told me all about it. The old boy's always dripping with news.
Rat.
Heard about Lord and Lady Lambeth. Ruined utterly. Scarcely enough left for appearances, I'm told. I always liked Georgia. Married Charles for his name and his fortune.
Yeah, so do I,
Girl.
apparently.
But she's made her nest. Now she must live in it. Well,
Just get to the
my
point.
dear, I have a little favor. A tiny one. Tonight at dinner, a man I don't know was making eyes at me. Be an absolute darling and find out who he is.
His name is George Quincy Clifford.
Look him up in the passenger list.
You listening?
All I know are his initials.
You listening?
GQC. The list's someplace. Find it. I'll wait right here.
Yeah, you lazy little... She can't be bothered. She walked to the purser's office and looked for herself. What a lazy, good-for-nothing son of a... Tell you what. Let's go and do her a favour. Just this once. We're going to go... Because all the other times I usually tell her to piss off, but this time I'm going to humour her. There's Smithers, you little rat bag. You grasped me up to her, didn't you? You little rat bag. I'll get you. Get you later. Right, behind this screen there's a man, the purser. He is a little... He's a little weasel. He does a lot. He expects a lot for nothing. He expects a lot from you for nothing in return. He thinks he's the hardest working man on the ship, yet he's the laziest one of them all. There are 3 ways I can get his attention. I can knock on this screen and he'll raise it, or I can push the bell, he'll raise it. I can also try and look through the cargo manifest, which he seems to have telekinesis powers. He knows that anyone is touching it, even though he can clearly not see through the screen, and he leaves it on the ledger outside. Why would you do that? How careless. This guy needs to be, I think, disciplined by the White Star Line heavily for leaving valuable ledgers without his knowledge where they are. But obviously, in this case, he knows exactly where they are, because if I click on it...
Only I'm allowed to access the cargo manifest. What do you want?
Okay, I just want you to tell me who GQC.
Valuables, store cargo, list passengers, etc. Have you a name? If you do, I can tell you their cabin number. Let me check. Aha, Mr. George Quincy Clifford, A27.
Thanks,
I
mate.
live to serve.
Thanks, mate.
Glad to be of service. Good night.
Okay, now we know his name, I'm going to go back to Daisy Cashmore, who's going to thank me and also tell me that Andrew Conkling is looking for me. Andrew Conkling, the Steel Tycoon, looking for me, and he's waiting for me at Scotland Road.
Did you get it? Get his name? Clifford. Clifford. Never heard of him. You don't suppose he's rich, do you? You're an angel, and I've news for you, too. While you were gone, Andrew Conkling's been asking for you. Yes, Conkling, the Steel Baron. God knows what he's been doing in Europe, buying it probably. And where was I? Oh, yes, Andrew Conkling asked me to pass along this. You know his wife Beatrix, the designer? Such an eye! Her clothes preserve the bust line. Couldn't be more flattering. Keeps the eye moving. Much nicer than Worth's. They're friends with Captain Smith. Smith, so handsome, so dashing.
Yeah,
Red Star's
you'd
best
never get with him in a
officer,
million years.
Or was. He's retiring after this voyage. Couldn't be more tragic.
Certainly
My dear,
is.
you've blanched. Bad news?
Good night.
Certainly, I must... It's Mrs. Bullbank! Consuelo!
Mrs. Bullbank. Bag. Mrs. Bullbag. Right, anyway, chat, just stand there looking at each other. These two are twins, if you can see. Mine looks vaguely familiar as well, so there could be triplets. I could try asking them, but they'll never respond to me, so... Anyway, I think off tomorrow is due a visit, but can't be bothered right now. Well, I need to go and see a man about a horse, so until then, ciao.